The Nintendo Switch is an amazing console. It has a great selection of games, both first party and third party, and the fact you can play these great games on the go still excites me to this day. But like every console, it still has its flaws, and there are many features the Switch doesn't have yet which previous systems did. But before I get into my list, I understand that a console's main priority are its games, and the Switch ticks that box in my opinion. And also Nintendo have stated they wanted to make the interface as simple as possible so it is quick to navigate around. But there are still improvements they could add. And of course, just to mention, this video is just for fun. Oh, and make sure to stick around to the end because I am saving my most wanted feature for last. Anyways, I'm going to start off with a feature that I noticed was gone straight away when I first turned on my console. And let me give you a clue. When you turn on the Wii, you hear this. When you turn on the Wii U, you hear this. When you turn on the 3DS, you hear this. Or maybe your own music if you have a different theme. But on the Switch, you hear nothing and it feels so bland compared to other Nintendo systems. Music adds so much life to the console. But alright, I get it, not every system has home menu music, but the Switch doesn't even have eShop music. Not to mention, it doesn't even have Mii Maker music. That one is so weird to me. The Mii Maker is its own separate app. When you go into it, it just feels so lifeless. It has nothing there, it's just empty. And I feel like they just skipped this out because they thought people don't really care about this kind of thing. But believe me, they really do. And it adds so much life to the system. Themes is another highly requested feature, and while this one wasn't really present on Nintendo's home systems, because the Switch is a home console and a portable console, it is viewed slightly differently, especially because the 3DS had it. And I understand why people do want themes, it adds your own personal touch to the system. I always loved the unique startup chimes you'd get for each theme for the 3DS, it was so cool. And even if Nintendo didn't want to add home menu music, which I was talking about previously, themes could fix that by having their own custom tracks. Anyway, let's get a few smaller additions out of the way before we get into my final one. And the first one is going to be apps such as Netflix or an internet browser. We already have a few apps on the Switch such as Hulu or YouTube, and I think eventually we will get more added, so that isn't really a big deal to me. But a browser is something I don't really see happening because Nintendo really wants to crack down on hacking. I understand that, and having a browser is an easy exploit. And to be honest, I never really use browsers on consoles anyway, just because of how slow they are, especially when we have smartphones or PCs or whatever. There's not really any need to use a console for the internet, so it's not really that big of a deal to me. Folders is another small feature I wanted to talk about. It would be really nice to have it to organize certain games. Let's say you have a bunch of Neo Geo games or arcade archives. To have them all in one place would be really nice. And the organization on the Switch home menu is really lacking in my opinion. You notice it more and more when you have a bunch of games, trust me. And they have improved it a bit recently, but folders is something they could add to make it just a bit better. And I think eventually we probably will get folders. It's just a small thing they could add. And finally, the last feature is something I have wanted for years, and that is achievements. I think part of the reason I went into an Xbox phase during the 360 days was literally because of achievements. I was just fascinated by them. I love the fact that people could view your profile and see all these achievements you worked so hard for. It was just amazing. And whenever I would go back to a Nintendo console, I would just be like, well, what's the purpose of playing these games? Apart from having fun, obviously. But I just felt like there was nothing to show off, you know? I would want to show people that I earned all these Korok seeds. I would want to show people that I completed the Pokédex. I would want to show people that I 100% completed Link's Awakening, etc. And because no one could see it, I just wouldn't feel as motivated to do it. Now the Switch does have the feature where you can show how much game time you've got in these games, but still, when you buy a game, you want it to have as much content as possible, right? You want to get your money's worth. And adding achievements adds so much more to a game. Let's say for example there's an achievement with a really cool title that you want to get, so you can display it on your profile. Or let's say certain achievements unlock profile pictures for your profile, or even themes for your profile. Or maybe you want to get all the achievements, which believe me is normally really hard, so that would be a nice challenge you could have for certain games you are really passionate for. You want to say, I've got all the achievements in this game, I've 100% completed it, and you can have that nice award or emblem, whatever, displayed on your profile. That would be amazing. Just imagine you completed The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you 100% completed the game, got every Korok seed, got every achievement, you can display that on your profile, and then maybe getting all them damn Korok seeds is more worth it. That would be so cool. Just imagine having a profile with all these achievements displayed on it, and imagine if they did this all these years ago. Let's say all the way back to the Nintendo Wii days. You could have all your achievements displayed from all these old classic games, even the Wii U or the 3DS. It would be amazing to have that there, and Xbox and PlayStation have that one thing over as Nintendo fans, and it saddens me to think we would never get that for our Nintendo systems. I know there are games out there like Minecraft where you can get achievements through the game, but I mean actual achievements for all games that are linked to your Nintendo profile that you can take with you to the next Nintendo system and the next Nintendo system, and you can display these achievements proudly. I know it will never happen. It's too late now, unfortunately. Nintendo wouldn't want to update all these old Switch games to have achievements, but hey, I can dream, right? Anyway guys, if you have made it this far, please do consider subscribing. I am trying so hard to grow the channel out, and leave a comment down below. Which features do you want to be added to the Switch? Are there any ones that I have mentioned that you really want as well? And make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video as well, and I will see you all in the next video.